In this video, we have decided to focus on how to get better at writing in general. So we are going to give very practical advice that you can do in your everyday life to improve your writing skills. Feel free to adapt this exercise to your needs, to modify them, and we really hope it will make a difference in your writing. The first thing that is very important, and you may already know, is to write very well. You need to have a good grammar knowledge. So know how to conjugate verbs, the plurals, the phrasal verbs, the past tenses. Everything needs to be very clear and to be able to write very well. If you need a book to improve your grammar, I strongly advise you the Burlington English Grammar. You will find all the exercises and theories around English grammar. Another important thing for your writing is to read a lot. Read magazine, books, blogs, whatever interests you. It's very important because you will broaden your vocabulary, you will learn new terminology specific to your interest, like sports or animals, nature, cities, museum, arts. There are really many of them. And also by reading a lot, you will get a sense of the grammatical structure and you will embody it because it will just make sense to you, and when you will write it, you will read the sentence and hear if it sounds good or not. This is how I have personally passed the IELTS exam, is because I have really immersed myself in English by reading, watching, talking to people, and in that case, even though I knew some grammar theories by memory, but most of them I just knew it by heart, because when I was reading a sentence, I would really see if it made sense or not and change the word accordingly. Another important thing is to listen to music in English, or to podcasts, to TED Talks, to TV series and films. Again, it will broaden your vocabulary, and it will give you more grammatical structure, and it will help you also for your listening task of the IELTS. Try always to write directly in English. Do not translate from your native language to English. You will see that it will become much more easier than to do your writing task 1 and task 2 of the IELTS. It's also very important to be able to get a feedback of your writing. So ask your English teacher, or to an examiner, or to someone you know that comes from England, to check your texts. You can also use the app Grammarly to check your grammar and spelling mistakes. But what I would advise you is to first write the text and then copy and paste it on Grammarly. It's a free extension of Chrome, and there you will see what are your mistakes. And write down those mistakes so you will make sure that next time you don't make them again. Always around the topic of making mistakes, just do not be afraid of making them, because if you're learning, for sure you will do things that you know more and you will know less. You will make mistakes, and it's the only way you can actually learn and improve your English. There are some other exercises that you can do in your everyday life that are very practical. For example, you can keep a diary in English where you write a sentence that summarizes your day, or maybe you went on a trip with the school to a museum, so you can describe how that went, and maybe you can describe a painting, a picture, and that will help you also gain all the vocabulary, because while you will be writing, you will think, oh, how do I say that in English, or how do I write this sentence correctly, and so on and so on. Also, in order to be inspired to write, you need to have inspiration coming from various parts. So again, it could be podcasts, TV series, magazine, newspaper, or your everyday life experiences. And it really does not matter what you write. It's just important that you write in English and you practice it as much as possible. Another important technique to improve your writing is dictation. So you can listen to an audio that also provides a script, so you can then check that you're writing everything correctly. And in this case, you will also improve your listening skills. To do this exercise, you can use audiobooks or TED Talks or podcasts. Just make sure that they have the transcript afterward. You can also keep a diary when you just write the most important quotes, the ones that really make you think, so that you will spend time every day to read them again, to find inspiration. And once you feel confident enough, you can even write your own quotation. If you love reading, another way to practice your writing is to use the app Goodreads, where you can review all the books you have read and give advice to other readers. Keeping a gratitude journal in English is another way to improve your writing. In this journal, every day you can write 2 or 3 things you're grateful for and how they happened. In this case, you will also improve your general well-being and improve your knowledge of English. If you really feel you do not have time for a diary or a journal or reviewing books, a very, very simple thing you can do is just writing lists in English. So your to-do list for the day can be written in English. Your shopping list can be written in English. Or even when you do something, or you talk to yourself, this can be done in English. So you can say, okay, now I'm going to cook these potatoes and I'm going to make some pasta and use tomato sauce. And again, you will practice your English and your vocabulary. The advice are not over. I can give you other ways to improve your writing. For example, write down your dreams. So keeping a dream journal. In this way, you will have much more chances also to dream in English. So every time you wake up in the morning, first thing you do, you write down in a sentence, in 2 sentences, what you have dreamed. And you will see, and please let me know if you then have any dreams in English, which is quite magical, and it's another way to improve your English. You can also exchange postcards or letters, and again, have like a pen friend, someone that comes from abroad that can write you. This can be done online or in paper, and it's another way to improve your writing skills. You can also use social network, but in that case, just remember that they are not unaccredited sources, and you will very often see the use of slangs that are not appropriate for the IELTS writing, or even words that are sometimes offensive. So make sure that you take with a critical eye what you want to use for the IELTS writing. But it can be useful to follow some influencers or some IELTS teachers on Instagram. They usually give some brief videos and posts of advice on how to get the highest grade on the IELTS. And last but not least, create your own glossaries. Once you do all these exercises, you can create various lists of words that you're learning, and also a list of the mistakes that you make more often, so that you can make sure that you don't make them again. I hope that this long list of advice has helped you to improve your writing in general, and I'll see you in the next video.